What's up guys? It's your girl Chelsea, the wannabe Hecate. Today I'm trying something a little different and I'm just going to be talking about overall the astrology for the month, what the planets are doing, just general kind of broad. It's not going to be like a super long video, just me chatting. I just thought it would be fun to upload 2 videos at once. I had a lot of initiatives since so much stuff is in Aries right now. I have like so much energy. But I'll talk about that in a little bit. Before I get started, I do want to apologize if the sound quality is like not that great or if you hear like noise in the background. I have a super noisy neighbor and he plays this like first-person shooter game all the time, like super loud, and it's really aggravating. I tried like turning my fan on. I thought that might help, but it didn't. I hated what it did to the noise quality for like me talking. So I had to turn it off and just kind of hope that it's so like distant that it just sounds like a lot to me because I'm here, but it won't like pick up through there. I even have like music playing in my AirPods to like help me. I'm just weird and I don't like hearing other people's noise and it's really distracting to me. So it's just so that I can like talk and like have my train of thought going, I just have like my own music playing. So a lot of stuff is in Aries right now. When we started April, we already had the Sun and Venus in Aries. And now Mercury has also joined them in Aries. So we have a lot of Aries energy going on. It's very fast-paced and upfront direct energy. Aggressive in a way. Like, it doesn't have to be aggressive in a bad way. It's just very dynamic. All of these planets are in Aries right now, and it'll stay this way until Venus goes into Taurus on the 14th. I'm saying on the 14th with confidence, but like, I could be wrong. When I go to read an ephemeris, it's like, it's always a day off compared to like when everybody else says something is happening. I think it's because of like time zones and stuff that it just gets like a little discombobulated, but it'll be the 14th or the 15th. Venus is going to go into Taurus. Now, the Sun and Mercury are also going to go into Taurus and join Venus around like the 19th or 20th. So then we'll have a lot of energy going on with Taurus, which is not necessarily like the opposite of Aries, but it's definitely going to be like a break and time to like breathe and kind of stretch and be like, okay, I got a lot done. I was running a lot of errands. I was taking care of a lot of projects. But now it's time to take care of myself and kind of indulge and treat yourself kind of energy. That's Taurus season. Mars is in Gemini. It started the month in Gemini and it's going to stay in Gemini until April 24th, around April 24th. I don't know, I was watching a Bailey Sarian video today and she was like, I'm just me in my room, and I was like, literally me. I know it's around the 24th. Probably the 23rd or 24th. Mars is going to go into Cancer towards the end of the month, and that's going to like join the Taurus vibe of like being more chill and slowing down and not being so go, go, go. So while Mars is in Gemini for most of the month, that's the energy that's going on. It's like a lot of different projects, possibly like multitasking and like running short errands and things like that, taking care of to-do lists. All of that is big Mars and Gemini energy. So for most of the first half of April, it's going to be really upbeat, fast-paced, snappy, 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 go, go, go energy. And then towards the end of the month, around the 20th, I would say, it all slows down. We go into Taurus and we're going to have time to just chill out and breathe. Now the new moon is going to be happening on April 12th. And this is, noteworthy because the new moon is going to be in Aries and so is the Sun, Mercury, and Venus. So we have all of them in Aries. That's just crazy to me to have so many planets transiting in Aries, so many like personal planets too. So it's definitely worth checking out and looking into for how it's going to affect you. Look at how Aries aspects whatever sign your sun or moon is in. Definitely look at the house that Aries rules in your chart. That area of life for you is probably pretty like maybe turbulent right now. Maybe you've got a lot going on in that area. The full moon is going to be on April 28th. It'll be a full moon in Scorpio because by then the sun is going to be in Taurus and the full moon always opposes whatever sign the sun is in. When the full moon is in Scorpio, it's also going to be opposing Mercury and Venus since they'll also be in Taurus. So that's definitely worth noting. We might see some tension in the areas between like the moon representing our emotions and Mercury and Venus representing like our relationships and communication. We might see a little like friction or just some interesting like spiciness and dynamics going on because of the opposition happening. So definitely take note of that happening. It's on the 27th or 28th I have the 28th written, but like I said, I'm always a day off, so you check your ephemeruses. You know, if you're a budding astrologer, you're into astrology, an ephemeris is a really handy thing to have, a handy thing to check out. It tells you what sign the planets are in, and it's super easy to read, and they have them going back, I mean, so many years, and going forward so many years, and that's why we can predict certain things with astrology, if you will, by looking at transits. I mean, I say predict loosely, but we can kind of get an idea of what kind of energy we're going to have going on if we look at what signs the planets are going to be in and how they're going to be aspecting each other, how they aspect us personally. That's kind of how you can write horoscopes. Now, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, a lot of stuff is in Aries right now, so a lot of planets are transiting one house for you or transiting a specific area of life for you, and that area might feel a lot more ramped up and like just kind of maybe energized. It doesn't necessarily have to be like anything negative or positive. It just could be that you have a lot of busyness going on. I'm going to get more into that on my Twitter and type like a really long thread for all of the rising signs, and it's based on whole sign houses. We don't always use whole sign houses, and with Placidus house systems, you might have these planets transiting a different house, but using whole sign houses, you can kind of figure out what area that these planets are in. I'm going to get more into that on my Twitter and talk more about, based on your rising sign, where all of these planets are transiting, because right now they're all in Aries, and then they're all going to go into Taurus, so they'll be in another house of your chart, influencing another area of your life. And it's just important to note that these planets are in these houses because they're personal planets. So they're, you know, the sun is our self-expression, and Mercury is communication and mental energy. Venus is our relationships and our one-to-one interaction. Noting how those planets are aspecting our own personal planets or how they're transiting our houses can just really help us get some insight into if anything crazy is going on in life, or, you know, it's just kind of nice sometimes to like know. You should never use astrology to like justify things, or, you know, you can't like lie to yourself with it. But for me, it's reassuring. This is a really weird example, but like this is the example I'll use. I have really weird stuff going on with my feet right now, but my Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces rules your feet, your ankles, and Saturn is transiting my 12th house right now. And when Saturn transits your 12th house, you're known to kind of have more like medical issues and things like that. The 12th house can kind of be associated with illness. I was reading in my new book that I'm going to talk about later about how when Saturn transits your 12th house, you might have some health issues coming up, and I was like, Saturn transiting my 12th house, my Saturn is in Pisces, and Pisces rules the feet, and I kind of feel like that's why I have this weird stuff going on with my feet. And just having that and knowing that, you know, that's going on, no, it doesn't fix the problem, but does it help me feel better? Yes, of course. That's what I love about astrology, that it helps you learn so much about yourself, and that it helps you kind of plan, and it helps you figure things out. Now, the new moon, like I said, is in Aries. The full moon is going to be in Scorpio. If you're interested in figuring out how they'll affect you personally, you can look at what houses are those signs ruling in your chart. That will tell you kind of like what area of life is being influenced, and then how the moon is aspecting your moon. So say like the transiting new moon is in Aries and your moon is in Libra, so then the moon is opposing your natal moon. Or say like if the transiting full moon is in Scorpio and your moon is in Virgo, then it's sextile your moon. If your natal moon is in like Cancer or Pisces, then the transiting full moon would be trine your moon. And you can look at those aspects and look at the houses that the moon is going to be in, and you can figure out how it influences you personally, what areas of life that it's influencing, that it might be making its presence known in. Overall, having so many planets in Aries right now generally means for us that, like I already said before, the energy is really fast and direct and like sped up right now. We're we have a lot of energy going on with having Mercury and Venus in Aries along with the sun, since all of these planets together pretty much just represent like self-expression, communication, one-to-one interaction. So it's a lot of like interpersonal vibes, if you will. I feel like that's a good way to put that, maybe. Once they go into Taurus around the end of the month, all of those things like communication and self-expression, all those things I said like that, when they go into Taurus, they're definitely more reserved than when they're in Aries, since Taurus is an earth sign. But Taurus is a very sentimental and caring sign as well. So the energy and the vibes will go to like, you know, very loving and maybe like spending more time with your loved ones or spending time at home, since that's what Taurus is about. Just kind of like taking care of your home, maybe making changes in the home. The energy is more like outward focused when everything's in Aries. You're like, what is the word I'm looking for? Extroverted, kind of. And then once it goes into Taurus, you become a little more introverted. Yeah, because the fire signs are more extroverted in general than the earth signs, which are more reserved and introverted. So yes, I feel comfortable confidently saying that. So once all these planets go into Taurus, it will definitely feel a lot more reserved, more coming in, focusing inward on yourself and your own place, your own space. That's big Taurus vibes, like focusing on you and your space. I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for the astrology for April. It's just big Aries and Taurus vibes is pretty much all you can say. So this will just be a little short video for April's astrology, nothing too fancy. We're just going to see how it turns out. I also wanted to show you guys my new books that I got because I'm so excited about them and I love them. And I don't know, buying books just makes me feel excited. I'm like into the, you know, I'm like into it again. And like, you know, I've got a new book to read and I'm learning new things and I'm like, oh yes, like, you know, it just kind of rejuvenates you in a way, you know, committing to buying this book. Like, I know at least a couple of you out there, like, yes, I get that. But yeah, so I found this book at Barnes & Noble and it was only $10, which I figured out was like a steal because I looked it up on Amazon and it was way more expensive. I wanted to buy it for some of my friends because it's such a great book. I'm obsessed with it. I love it so much. I love how it's written and it's like so easy to read, and it's called Astrological Transits. And it's got this big, I don't know what this is called. It's like a, not a subtitle, but like a, you know, the beginner's guide to using planetary cycles to plan and predict your day, week, year, or destiny. I talked earlier about reading transits, using them to write your horoscopes, predict your future, if you will. I used to do this a lot for me and my friends. I was really into tracking the transits and keeping up with them and writing out like horoscopes for me and my friends. I was committing a lot to it. It was a lot of work. And I eventually stopped doing it because it was so much work. I kind of fell off with it. But I'm really excited to get into it again. I think I figured out a much easier way to kind of track for me and my friends and not do so much writing. So basically, it talks about how to track planetary cycles and basically how the planets act when they're transiting certain houses, how they act when they're transiting certain signs. This is definitely the first and only book that I have completely dedicated to transits, and I was just so happy that I found it, and when I saw how cheap it was, of course I was like, I have to buy this. My other book that I got is a tarot book, which also got me like really excited to start reading again soon. I'm hoping soon to get more into doing tarot every week, multiple times a week, like starting to take baby steps, and I'm excited to have a book, and I'm actually getting more books hopefully soon. I definitely do want to start doing my Instagram readings again for the new moon and the full moon, so at least twice a month posting readings for all the signs. Anyway, the other book that I bought is called What the Fuck is Tarot? And how do I do it? It is so interestingly written. I mean, as evidenced by the title, What the Fuck is Tarot? I obviously picked it up because I was intrigued by the title, and then I started to read it and look at it, and I was like, yeah, I really like this, I'm gonna buy this. I'm still working through it, and I'm not super far into it, but I do like what I've read so far. It's another book that I would consider buying for my friends. Definitely, just like the other one that I mentioned. So yeah, for me personally, I'm getting into reading my tarot more again. I'm getting into tracking my transits. I have a lot of energy for, you know, YouTube and for astrology and tarot again. I'm excited to have all this energy again. The new moon is on April 12th, so that'll be next week, and I definitely want to have some Instagram readings done for that. I'm about to film the next episode of Analyzing Celebrity Birth Charts after I'm done filming this video. So that's exciting. But yeah, these are my books. They're at Barnes & Noble if you're interested in them, if you think you might want to try them. Astrological Transits by Elliott. I didn't say the author's name earlier because I'm a ding-dong sometimes. And What the Fuck is Tarot is by Bakara Wintner. I hope I said her first name correctly. Have a good April. Have a good rest of your Aries season. I'll probably make another one of these videos in May, depending on how this one goes. So until then, I'll definitely be making the Analyzing Celebrity Birth Charts episodes, so be on the lookout for those. And like I said, I do my tarot readings on Instagram, and I'm hoping to start those up again soon. If you want to look into those, they're usually just on my Instagram. But I did make the Twitter also for that kind of stuff. So I do have that as well. If you don't want to do Instagram, they will also be on Twitter. I think that is everything. I definitely have made enough work for myself with all this footage I have to edit now. I don't want to say I'll talk to you guys soon because I'm literally about to film another video. So yeah, I will talk to you guys soon. Alright, I gotta go. Love you. Bye!